My grandfather tried to drown me for money, so I returned the favor. I was 16 when I realized my grandfather kept trying to kill me and my little brother Noah at his pool parties. Grandpa William owned this massive estate in Connecticut with an Olympic-sized pool that he insisted we visit every weekend during summer. My parents never said no because they were drowning in debt from Dad's failed restaurant chain and Mom's shopping addiction. The first incident happened when Noah was 8. Grandpa was giving him swimming lessons and held him under for way too long. Noah came up gasping and crying while Grandpa laughed it off as building character. My parents just sat there sipping their cocktails and told Noah to stop being dramatic. The next weekend, Grandpa played this game where he'd throw coins in the deep end and time how long we could hold our breath searching for them. He kept pushing me back down when I tried to surface. I blacked out for a second before he finally let me up. Mom actually yelled at me for not trying hard enough to impress Grandpa. Then the pool chemicals started acting up whenever we visited. The chlorine would burn our eyes so bad we couldn't see underwater. One time, Noah's skin broke out in hives and he had to go to the hospital. Grandpa said his pool guy must have made a mistake, but I saw him adding chemicals from unmarked bottles the night before. The worst part was how my parents reacted. They knew something was wrong, but they'd make excuses every single time. Dad would say Grandpa was just being playful or that we needed to toughen up. Mom would change the subject to how generous Grandpa was letting us use his beautiful pool. I started refusing to swim, but Grandpa would throw me in fully clothed as a joke, and my parents would scold me for ruining the mood. He'd hold pool noodles over our heads when we tried to surface or accidentally kick us in the stomach underwater. Noah developed a fear of swimming, but our parents forced him to keep going. Everything clicked when I overheard my parents arguing about money one night. Mom was crying about losing the house, and Dad mentioned something about waiting for Grandma's trust funds. That's when I learned that Grandma had set up education trusts for me and Noah that we'd get at 18. The money was supposed to bypass our parents completely, but if we died before 18, it would go back to Grandpa's estate. I started paying closer attention after that. I noticed Grandpa timing how long he held us under and keeping a little notebook. He'd practice holding his own breath while watching us swim. I even caught him testing how much weight it took to keep a pool float submerged. The breaking point came when I found his plans. I'd snuck into his study during a bathroom break and discovered sketches of the pool with X marks at different depths. He had notes about drowning times and how to make it look accidental. There were newspaper clippings about tragic pool accidents and insurance payouts. The sick bastard had been planning this for months. I knew nobody would believe me if I said anything. My parents were practically accomplices at this point, and Grandpa was a respected businessman who donated to all the right charities, so I decided to handle it myself. Grandpa took blood pressure medication that I'd seen him pop before his elaborate diving exhibitions, where he'd show off for his rich friends. He kept the pills in his poolside cabana bar. During his 4th of July party, I volunteered to help set up and made sure to crush up extra pills into his pre-dive scotch. He always had exactly 2 drinks before showing off. The party was packed with his country club buddies all ready to watch 70-year-old William do backflips off the high dive. He finished his second scotch and climbed the ladder while everyone cheered. I watched him pause at the top and touch his temple like he had a headache. Then he dove. It was a perfect dive until he hit the water. His body went rigid halfway down and he just sank. Everyone thought he was showing off holding his breath. People were actually timing him and cheering. After 90 seconds, someone finally realized something was wrong. They pulled him out, but the stroke had done its damage. He survived, but he couldn't speak or move properly. The doctors said the combination of alcohol and diving at his age had caused it. Natural consequences of showing off. I visit him sometimes at the nursing home. I bring Noah and we tell him about our swimming lessons at the public pool. He just stares at us with this look of pure terror because he knows exactly what happened, but he can't tell anyone. But that's when I discovered the video on Grandpa's phone. He wasn't just practicing holding his breath. He'd been recording himself holding other kids underwater at the country club, perfecting his technique. And I recognized the last child in the videos. Full story on channel, link below.